fellow South Africans. And you know what the time is? 20 to 2 in the morning. I can't sleep. Why can't I sleep? I rely on a government pension, Sassa pension. On the morning of the 3rd, we went through to go and check our bank. No deposit. On Friday, we finally got through to Sassa office because of all the inundated calls that were taking place there. And they said to me, "No, I need to update some of my stuff,
Information.
some of my information." I said, "Okay." I gave them my ID number. He said, "No, I need to go into the Sassa offices. I need to take
Proof of residence.
my proof of residence and my
And you have to
barcoded ID,
ID.
which I took in the first place when I first started with this lot, and a bank statement." I said, "Okay, I haven't changed anything." Now, that's all. And then the guy was still kind enough to tell me I must take my own chair and a bottle of water and something to eat because I might be there a long time. I said, "Okay, that sounds okay." You do realize I am a stroke patient. I'm recovering from a stroke. I have not got my own wheelchair, so I rely on a walker when I can walk. My wife helps me most of the time.
You battle because of your left side being paralyzed.
And this left side doesn't work too grand. And then, of course, with a stroke, you've got other problems as well, like bowel movements and all that type of thing. It is an issue.
A big issue,
I said, okay. So that means now I must go get proof of residence. I must go to the bank, get a statement.
Again.
Get to Sassa.
Stand in that long queue.
And Sassa could not even, and nothing changed. When I phoned him, I spoke to him. I said, it's the same telephone number that he's got there that I gave to him over the phone, and the same email address. There was no messages, nothing, not even an SMS, not a WhatsApp message, nothing to tell us this should have taken place. So I could plan it properly. Now I'm sitting here, I've got no money left. All the money's been spent. How am I supposed to get to Sassa? I live in Eskom, which is a long way away from Pinetown. I can't even walk to the gate, never mind walk to Pinetown. How am I supposed to get there? They go stand in a queue for God knows how many hours. It means I've got to go proof of residence, number one. Number two, bank statements, then off to Sassa. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And the government, and then they turn around saying, yes, but I said, why do you want my bank statement? You already got my banking details. Oh, no, they want to see that I've got no other form of income. I said, well, I haven't got any form of income. I said, that's you just ask the bank, they can tell you. If you're really worried that I'm making millions on this, with this,
well, how can you
whole
anyway
2,130 rand. Wow, what did they expect me to be doing? Buying half a Durban or something? I said, personally, I think maybe all the people working at Sassa should be paid 2,130 rand a month for their month's work. Then maybe they'll start doing their job properly.
No, maybe they should be paid less than that.
No, I know, really, they are overpaid because if this was such a big thing that they thought that if I was flagged as somebody that was stealing money, then surely, or whatever the case is, doing a fraudulent thing here, they got my address, they got everything. Why couldn't they come to me and come check to see how I live? But I must now make a plan. Now, what about those people that live in the rural areas? They haven't even got access to things, but they've got to catch a taxi or whatever it is to get to the bank to get check up.
Old ladies, the old
they
men.
can't walk. This is not on.
It's not nice.
If it's so cheap to travel backwards and forwards according to our government, then why don't they just apply a Sassa with the vehicles to go to all these people and go check up on them? Surely they could have approached us in a different way.
Yeah.
They could have at least given us maybe a 1 month's heads up. You can't just get the heads up
on the
day you're spending your money.
The spur of the moment.
You're expecting your money, then you find out there is no money. Then you must find the money to phone, which we better to get through at least.
Yeah, there's no answer. Or you got through to the wrong number.
Get through there, just telling us that please wait forever till you can speak to a consultant.
Or they're forever changing their numbers.
Anyway, we eventually got hold of the one guy, and he was the
Quite,
first guy
yeah, it
wasn't
was
super
quite
good, but
decent.
the second
Yeah,
guy was very good. He was really was on the ball, and he helped us a lot. He gave us all the correct information where he could, and we say thank you to him. And I wish more people were as efficient as what he was.
yeah.
At least he was
That
very
the
efficient.
all boils down to that it's actually
But
very inhumane what has been happening
what's
with
been going
our
on here? This is nonsense.
with all the
These people that are
sources
stealing from Salsa
from the pension
must be
fund.
dealt with accordingly. They must be dealt with very harshly.
It's actually disgusting
This
how
is
they treat the
terrible.
old people.
The old people are going to bed now hungry.
Yeah,
If it wasn't for certain other people, I wouldn't even have supper tonight. I
yeah.
wouldn't be sitting here having a cup of coffee because that's what we live on. We live on, myself and my wife live on 2,130 Rand a month. That's our food money because other people pay my rent for me because I can't afford to pay rent.
But besides that,
This is the thing is this is where
besides
we
that
are fortunate. I said we are fortunate.
yeah,
Now, what about those people that
that haven't even got
they've got
that.
no other
They've got
assistance?
no help.
All they've got is that source of money, and they must be in a terrible position. Shame,
Yeah,
man.
this one's we only want to
No,
bring it to everybody's
no,
attention so that
that
they
Salsa
can
could have done handled this, and in fact,
understand what's going on here
but
in our country.
what I'm trying to say is Salsa should have handled this in a little bit of a different way. As people have been collecting, I've been collecting now for about going on 6 years now. I've been collecting my pension,
Yeah.
and surely they could have done this in a little bit of more of a humane manner.
Yes.
Not just cut it off. Anytime you find there's no money there is when you go expecting the money to be there, and then they tell you that when you make all the necessary inquiries, they're telling you no. No, it's for you to check. I said, what do you mean for me to check? They said, well, I
Yeah.
don't get paid to check up.
No, that's
I said, then might as well hire me then to go work there then,
that's the
if they
horrible
can't do the
that's
job.
the horrible answers you
And I can
get.
guarantee you, I bet you they earn more than 2,000 Rand a month, those people working there. That's for bloody sure. So maybe their wages should be dropped down to be the equivalent.
I just feel so sorry for those very fragile old pensioners out there that haven't even got family to help them even
Well,
get to the
they're screwed.
office.
They're screwed. They're screwed. They might as
They
well just lie down and
shame.
die.
That is so sad. That you can't treat people like that. And it's all to do again with mismanagement.
Well,
Mismanagement.
the
Because why
the whole thing is
why
mismanaged
hasn't
right from the top, right down.
this thing hasn't been sorted out? It should be sorted out. There's always got to be somebody that's on the top
And so the
looking
thing is,
out to
it's not that
find
these.
out to make sure
Whenever
that
it comes to this
things are
ANC
sorted.
government, there is no planning.
No
They
planning.
plan nothing.
Exactly.
They react just now. Then when they got a riot taking place, and they say, "Oof, we should have done something about it." They could see it coming, but they do nothing about it because they don't plan. They plan nothing. They survive on crisis. They
Yeah.
love crisis.
Yeah.
That's why they want to become a one state party
Mm.
because then they got total rule and they can just carry on doing like whatever they're doing now, demolishing our country.
Mm.
Now they're just trying to wipe out the old people too. They're forgetting that those old people for years paid taxes. Like myself, I paid taxes for many years.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked for over 40 years, man. Come now.
Mm.
Where now? What now?
Yeah.
And now I get treated like this. Now
Yeah.
screw this, man. I won't be surprised if there's a bloody civil war in this country one day.
Mm.
If they don't get rid of this bloody Donus ANC. This ANC must take voetsak down. They must take it by and by now.
Mm.
All they're doing is stealing and robbing and
There's a lot more to
killing
this that meets the eye, as far as
it's
I'm
bad. It's
concerned.
very bad. It's very bad. I don't want to go by the hospitals and that. But they need to start somewhere, and maybe they should start with the SARS thing. Try and get the SARS into order. You've got to start getting one part of your house in order.
Mm.
Sometimes when you do a spring clean in your house, you start from one end and you work your way through the house. You can't do it all the same day.
How many
One day.
more or less, I'm saying, how many more or less of people did they say pensioners that didn't get pension?
I don't know. I'm
But
seeing on
there
the
are
TV like
lots.
20,000 or whatever. I don't know.
Yes.
They've got this problem. I mean, but this
That's
is just bad
disgusting.
planning. It's bad planning.
That
It's
is
bad
disgusting.
management. It's bad management. People's heads must roll. They must be fired.
Mm.
These people have to be fired and be
And how
replaced
do you
with
do
real
that?
people.
How do you fire them?
5 liters of petrol in one match. Pour the petrol in the guy, said to him, I said, guess what, you fired. They don't even come back for their last pay, I promise you. They just disappear. Ooh,
Yep.
that's where I
Problem
come from.
problem
That's how you
solved.
fire people.
Mm.
So you don't have to worry about bullshit. It's the same as what I said about the death penalty in those days. They should have just dropped the rope in the court, hung the guy in the court while he's hanging out there by the neck. You have the next court case below under his feet. That'll teach you people, hey, you better listen to the laws of our country. We don't like you. We don't believe in this lefty shit bullshit about people's getting their bums wiped and that because now they're criminals now. Our criminals are treated like gods in this country.
No, they are. That's a
Our
total.
president is treated like he thinks he's the fucking king.
Yeah.
He's the king of fuck all, man. He's a king cunt. Yes.
But it all boils down to, like you said, okay, I don't really believe in the death
Yes,
penalty.
but the thing is, they've got to teach us at school that it's not that I believe in the death penalty.
I don't believe in the death penalty,
well,
but I do believe in punishment. Punishment must fit the crime. Punishment must fit the crime and the rule of fear. You have to have rules. If you have no rules, then there are going to be chaos. There will
you can have
be,
rules, but if you don't, the rules have to be backed up with.
It is going to be chaos if there's no rules.
You can put all the rules in the world, but if nothing's going to happen to you, why must I adhere to the rule? You must be shit scared of that rule. You must know, hey, Benny, if I steal, they take my eye and they rip it out and throw it away or cut my fingers off. If I shoot with a gun and they take my fingers, they cut my fingers and my thumbs off and say, no more guns for you, my boy, and no more eyes. Because without eyes and without fingers, you can't use a gun.
But anyways, just that what I was going to say was, I think it is very early hours in the morning, and we just wanted to voice our opinion about the one regarding the Sassa and the pension. Yeah,
people are getting tired.
We're
very tired now.
It's very sad. Yeah, something should be done about it.
The ANC must go now. They must go now. They must back the Impashla and Hamanyal. They must protect now. They must take a hike. They must just piss off now. And then people must stop voting for the ANC because they're just ruining our country. They're not ruling it. They're abusing us. They're abusing the people of this country. And there's some great people in this country, but just there's a couple of fraught ones, and that ANC is just fraught. It's rubbish. It's a shit.
That's why in all these areas, in all these places that you go to are ruined. It's stuffed, like our hospitals and home affairs, and that's why it's ruined, because there's no order. There's no order, and that needs to come to a stop.
Well, there's no accountability. That's why.
No accountability. Anyways, I'm going to close up now, Doug. I think we're finished for the night.
Please, I really appreciate it if you could subscribe, share, and
like.
Share, like, and subscribe, please. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for listening to The Solution and watching our channel.
Love you all.
Take care. God bless.
All to the pensioners out there. Good night. I hope you all came right.
To all the pensioners out there, all the best to you guys. I pray you come right.